A newly modified version of a Tintin comic will be hitting the bookshelves and stores soon after it was widely criticized for its colonialist depiction of Africans. Tintin in the Congo by Belgian comic strip artist Herge from the second volume of The Adventures of Tintin was first published back in 1931. Back then, the Belgian Congo was a colony of the European country. In the comic, Tintin, a Belgian reporter, travels to then colonized Belgian Congo to report on events there, leading to encounters with native people, wild animals, and an American diamond smuggling gangster. Over recent decades, the comic strip has become increasingly controversial, with critics pointing to its racist and colonialist treatment of the local population. The new edition that was launched in November carries a preface explaining the colonial context of the time. It also contains tweaks of the story. At one point, Tintin teaches an African child mathematics, whereas in the original, he teaches the child that its home country is Belgium. Its cover was also changed from the original, showing Tintin facing off against the lion, whereas before he was sitting with a black child. This modified version has received a mixed response from anti-racism groups. Patrick Lozes, founder of CRAN, Federation of Anti-Racism Associations, said, and this is a quote, "This volume goes back to a time that is thankfully over, where it was acceptable to consider blacks as inferior," end of quote. He welcomed the addition of the preface, which he said went, quote, "in the right direction." Pascal Benchard, a historian of colonialist propaganda, said that he was surprised that the publishers did not make a special announcement of those changes and that the new preface was not mentioned on the cover at all. He called the preface highly debatable. He further claimed that Herge's work had simply been a reflection of how his time was, quote unquote, facile and false. According to reports in 1975, Herge himself had admitted that all he knew about the Belgian Congo was what people talked about at the time. He drew Africans in the pure spirit of paternalism that was prevalent back then.